Hey everybody, welcome to week 4 of our Women's Writers course. I've been enjoying reading your responses. I'm still getting through a lot of them. I got a little behind after my dad's funeral, but we are getting there. So just want to get a little, give you a little oversight on or overview of the week this week, because it's going to be busy. Now, this is one of those weeks that you're really going to feel that you're doing 2 weeks worth of work in 1 week. Unfortunately, that just is the way it is. This is the 4th out of 8 weeks, so we're moving along really fast, and we're getting away from the textbook a little bit and moving into The Handmaid's Tale, which I think you guys will find really, really interesting. It's one of my favorite books of all time. And Margaret Atwood is extremely interesting, and I encourage you guys to go out and do some YouTube searches or some other things, because there's really good resources out there if you want to get a little bit more information or need some clarification. So the plan for this week, bring that up here. Okay, you guys had assignment to analyze some poetry over the last week. I tried to keep it pretty surface, meaning, you guys have been reading about, researching your literary terms and things like that. So hopefully you're keeping those things in mind as you're analyzing poetry and other things that we're reading. But I really want more like your own response to some of these pieces, because I think that that's really, really important. It's important how you engage with the literature. So this week I have uploaded your Unit 1 assessment. It's going to have questions going back to Zakalaza. Some of these look familiar, but that's okay. It's just a chance for you to get, I don't have a problem with reusing a question that you've gone over before in an assessment. I think that's actually pretty fair to let give you the idea that what you're being tested on. So that one thing to keep in mind too on the test is I have actually given you more than a week on that. So the Unit 1 test does not have to be uploaded in Blackboard until the 18th. That gives you almost 10 days to complete that, because in the meantime, you're also going to begin The Handmaid's Tale. You'll read the first half of the book up through section 9. Please do read the introduction that's written by Margaret Atwood. I think it gives a lot of context to the story, and it's interesting because it's a very updated introduction. Many of you know that there's a Handmaid's Tale series on Netflix, and she's actually one of the producers of that series, so she's making sure it's pretty accurate. The other side of that, though, they have also expanded that, so if you watch The Handmaid's Tale, it's not going to stand in, unfortunately, for actually reading the book, because they take a lot of liberties and they expand a lot of story. So yeah, just so you know. Then we're doing something a little bit different with the reading questions for the book. I have put up here, and this is what I do in my face-to-face classes. I have a list of questions for each reading, and since this is the first half of the book, there are a lot of them. There are 19. I want this to be a tool for you. I don't want it to be a burden for you, okay? I would, if it were me, I would download the document that has the questions, and as I'm reading, I'd make notes to myself in the document that answers the questions. If you have a couple of them blank at the end, you're still going to get points. That's okay, because the idea is that, that would be something we may have filled in discussion or something like that if we were face-to-face. Unfortunately, it's a little harder to have those discussions in this. But what I am doing to kind of take the place of that is I'm having you upload by next week all of the answers to your first half's questions in a discussion board as an attachment. And I'm doing that because I want you to be able to go in and access other people's answers to their questions to see if how they jive with yours. Now, will I know if you go in and look at anybody else's? No, I will not. In fact, if you feel like you have a really good beat on things and you don't need other people's views on this, that's fine. But this will be a resource for you in case you do have questions or something's just not clicking with the book. So hopefully you'll find that helpful. I'd love some feedback on how that works for you in the next week or two, if you think about it. So. All right, I think we are in a pretty good spot. So it sounds simple, and it kind of is, but it's a lot of work. So you've got the unit test, but again, you have about 10 days for that. You have to read the first half of The Handmaid's Tale, and I want you to complete those questions as you go along. And then we'll do the second half of the book next week, and I will do next week when we I will have an additional video where I kind of talk through a couple of those questions. And the first, I'll pick like 5 or 6 that are really important that illustrate other things. And there's just so much we could talk about in this book. I hate that we have it crammed in here. So anyway, I hope you have a great week. If you have any questions at all about any of what we're doing, please let me know. A couple of you shot me emails. I try to get back to you right away. Just let me know what you need. So have a great week, guys. Bye.